Wow, good morning, world. Welcome again. It's once again Wednesday morning. It's 10 o'clock. It's time for our In Conversation with, I should say, it's 10 o'clock UK time for everyone who's joining us around the world. Today, I'm really chuffed. I'm joined by Andrew Kotek from Within Business Solutions, who is joining me today to give us some golden nuggets about how we can unlock the power of LinkedIn. Andrew is an expert in LinkedIn. So, Andrew, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. If you could introduce yourself to the world, if you don't mind.
Yeah, great to be here, Brian. Thank you for the invite. So been helping people with LinkedIn now 7 years ago, for 7 years. Started purely by accident, strangely enough. In my previous job, I'd done a couple of LinkedIn training sessions. And when the company folded, it was actually one of the ladies that attended one of those sessions that said, I see the value in LinkedIn, haven't got the time to do it myself, will you help me with it? So I thought, yeah, we'll give it a go. So put a plan in place, make sure a profile represented her and the business, and basically put a plan in place to who she wanted to connect with, created a series of messages, and within a matter of weeks, she was booking meetings and she actually got asked to speak at an event. So I thought, hang on, this is definitely something I can do, sort of thing. And and the same process still pretty much works 7 years later, despite all the LinkedIn changes that have happened over the last few years. So it's keeping up to date with them, which probably keeps me in the job.
That's interesting. That's interesting how something like that just sort of lands in front of you, isn't it? It's so credit for you to look, finding the opportunity and running with it. So I was going to say, you're 7 years, some quite dramatic changes. I know on the surface of it, when you look at LinkedIn, it might not look like it's changed an awful lot, but it certainly has. What's the biggest sort of changes you think that's been going on with LinkedIn over the last sort of 5-6 years?
I think a lot of it is just how it actually appears to people more than, I don't think the actual advanced searches or the searches have changed too much in order, for you to find people to connect with. It's just finding your way around LinkedIn. There's just so many sort of different options to click on. So for instance, I actually have a LinkedIn folder in my bookmarks, and I put all the shortcuts in there for like advanced search, who's viewed my profile. So rather than having to find them every time, I can just go to my bookmarks and it'll take me straight to that area of LinkedIn.
Okay.
So that's just something really simple that I do in my training sessions, it just helps people find their way around, because those links actually haven't changed. It's just the way it appears.
Okay, that's cool. For me, as a user of LinkedIn, and I've used LinkedIn for a long time, and there seems to have been, about maybe a year or 2 years ago, it seemed like to me something changed inside of LinkedIn. It became much more of an effective place to network. There seemed to be sort of a very distinct change happening at some point, maybe 1 or 2 years ago. Certainly, that's how I feel. Before that time, whatever change it was they implemented, I didn't feel as a business owner it was that effective as a networking tool. But I do you remember the sort of the thing that I'm thinking to sort of specific to tell you what it was, but it did seem like there was a change that happened at some point.
Yeah, I think that's more to do with the posting and the articles. A lot of people talk about the LinkedIn algorithm, and no one knows exactly what it is. But basically, as you interact with people's posts on the home feed, what you should start to see if you log in again, well, as you log in each day, basically the first lot of posts you should see are the people that you've been interacting with recently. Wow. So LinkedIn sort of identified, okay, you've commented on this post before, on this person's post before, so when they post again, that's going to be the post that's presented to you. So I think that really helped. Rather than you searching for people's posts that you are likely to engage with, LinkedIn started presenting those posts to you.
Okay.
About a year ago, it all seemed to go a bit Pete Tong again, but now it seems to be back on track, basically. So yeah, but you've still got to have those connections, for you to engage, with you as well. There's no point in you posting content if you haven't got the right kind of connections that's going to appeal to. So you've got to make sure you've got a combination of the both. You've got the network, you've got the right network. So it's not thousands of people that you don't know and aren't in your right audience. You need to make sure you're connected with people that are potentially good prospects for your business, and then your posts relate to what it is you offer and should be of interest to those people.
That's interesting, isn't it? Because I think a lot of people perhaps are in danger of, most people, I suppose, fall into the trap of, you want to grow your connection numbers, so you sort of blindly accept people who ask you to connect. So I think most of us is guilty of that, I suppose, to some degree.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been far too easy. Well, till recently, actually, just click connect, especially on the app. It was just far too easy. I mean, I personally think every invite should be personalized anyway, sort of thing. So, but again, in the last month or so, LinkedIn have restricted everyone to 100 invites per week. Wow. So that whether you're a free user, business, premium, or Sales Navigator, we've all got that restriction. Well, I believe we have now, of doing no more than 100 invites per week. There are still strange ways around that.
That's interesting as well, isn't it? Because for a platform that identifies,
it's all about networking and building your network, they put a restriction on you. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, I think, me as a Sales Navigator user, yes, I've already got a vast network, but I think to be penalised as a Sales Navigator user to the 100 invites is a bit unfair compared to those that are, are free users.
I was going to say, surely if you were a paid user, you would be allowed more, but that's not the case, I suppose.
It doesn't appear to be, no. You still obviously have the extra, with Sales Navigator, you have the extra 12 or 13 search filters. So, I mean, I still pay for Sales Navigator. I mean, it works out to, I think it's £600 per annum, or you pay 20% more if you pay for it monthly, sort of thing. But those extra search filters are definitely very useful, and I said I would suggest that anybody that's not had a 30-day free trial on Sales Navigator to definitely take a look, but only start the trial when you've got 30 days to
spend time on it.
And I'm quite happy to demo Sales Navigator to people as well, sort of thing, or help them go through that. So
sure. Do you think for people like myself, I understand Sales Navigator is obviously a very useful tool for yourself. LinkedIn is your business, part of your business. So do you think that realistically that it would be worthwhile to the normal average Joe like myself to pay for something like Sales Navigator? Would I ever get value for money out of it?
It's a difficult one. I mean, it's not going to be for everyone, but I would suggest that, if you haven't had the 30-day trial, anyone should try it. The main search filters that I'm interested in are company size, which you don't get on the normal advanced search, and the other one is they've actually posted in the last 30 days. So, I mean, you could search for your ideal prospect to get 1,000 results, but a lot of those aren't using LinkedIn, or not even, moved jobs, or just not updated their profile. So you've got a lot of rubbish there potentially. But what I've got, if I've got 1,000 results in Sales Navigator, I can then, there's an extra filter that actually says posted in the last 30 days. So I know they're active on LinkedIn, and they're likely to be more responsive. So that may be only 100, but I would rather target those 100 than the 1,000, basically, that could be just a lot of rubbish and wasting my own time on.
That makes sense. So I think, when it comes to Sales Navigator, we're sort of talking a little bit more advanced stuff, aren't we, really? So
definitely.
For the average sort of Joe who sort of only has a few minutes, perhaps a day or a week, to spend on the LinkedIn thing, what's the best way for a business owner to use it? We're all busy. We got busy businesses we need to run, and so what's the best way of getting the most out of LinkedIn, you think?
Yeah, I mean, I would always suggest, just trying to make a few new connections each day, and, 2 or 3 posts a week, but not everyone can still manage that. So that's, that's where I can come in to manage their accounts for them. So we will put a plan in place, optimize their profile, identify their target audience, and then I can do the connect requests and the follow-up messages for them. And then my clients only have to get involved when someone replies. So they then take over the conversation to book the meeting, etc. But with the way I work as well, my clients don't actually need Sales Navigator. So I will give them access to, the way I work, I'll use my own Sales Navigator to search for their prospect criteria. And then basically I can log into my client's account and then invite them to connect. So I'm actually giving my clients all those filters, but they don't have to pay for Sales Navigator. So that's it. some clever tools going on in the background.
Well, that's fine. So that's good. So there's is there's so much stuff that's on LinkedIn. You know, the amount of posts is a bit like Facebook, really, when you look at the feed. So
Some of it can be, yeah.
is there any sort of hard and fast rules? What's best to do? Is it best to share posts that people put on, or put comments in, or like stuff? Does that make a difference?
Yeah, comments are always going to be better than likes, but when you're doing posts as well, again, according to LinkedIn algorithms, a pure text post is better than anything else. They don't like outside links either. So if you link to your own website or to some news or anything, it's actually best to put that in comments.
Sure.
Because LinkedIn just don't like outside links to take the people away from LinkedIn.
No.
And it's not something I've seen myself, but I've seen 2 or 3 people report it. If you want to include an image, it's actually best to PDF it, so it's uploaded as a document. And apparently that's getting presented better by LinkedIn than a normal image. So I'm yet to test that myself, but it's something I've seen in the last week or two. So
that's really interesting, because when you scroll down your feed, you normally see that 9 out of 10 articles or posts people put on does have an image attached to it, don't it?
Yeah, but I say if you convert that image to a PDF, from what I'm reading of late, then that will be better presented by LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn is seeing it as a document. So it's more, a document is more likely to be useful information than an image, I think, sort of thing. So, so I'm yet to try it myself. I've seen it reported 2 or 3 times.
Right.
And video always does well as well. So,
sure. No, that's very useful to know. I never realized, because everything is so full of images and stuff these days, isn't it?
Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, polls also took off quite well. Polls all came back to us all recently, sort of thing. But I think, again, everyone's getting a bit, you're seeing them too often. there's a lot out there. But again, if you do your own poll, it's really good at collecting information, because you can see who's liked or voted on your poll, sort of thing. So it's really good for gathering a list of names that have actually taken part in your polls as well, sort of thing. So
that's useful. So for everyone who's sort of joining us later on here, we're joined by Andrew Kotek today, who's a LinkedIn specialist. If you have any questions during our live stream, or indeed after, because these videos will remain on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So if you have any questions that you would like Andrew to answer, then please post them into comments, and we will try our hardest. If we can answer them live, we will do. If not, then we will get back to you later on. You can always go and see Andrew's website. It's down in the ticker box. And if you're not already following or connected to Andrew on LinkedIn, I would encourage you to go and seek him out on LinkedIn and connect with him on there. There's many good reasons to why you want to be connected to Andrew. That's for sure. So I was gonna, when it comes to one of the things that we've been trying to do over the last year, so it'll be interesting to get your view on this, is that we obviously put blogs on our website 2 or 3 times a month, and I'm trying to then a month later to put them on as articles on LinkedIn. What's your view on articles? Does that make any difference? Does it have any effect? Is it a good thing to do?
It definitely, yeah. So going back to sort of what I said, putting it on as a LinkedIn article is better than putting it on as a post and with an outside link to your blog, sort of thing. So, but it's still, with LinkedIn articles, it's still difficult to get them in front of your connections. So what I would say is, once you've posted an article, try and find your connections that you think will be, that article could appeal to, and just send them a direct message through LinkedIn, and with a link to the article. They will hopefully then start to like or comment. So for instance, if you posted an article and then I commented, my 12,000 connections could potentially see that. So you don't need many people to start liking or commenting on or sharing your articles, to reach a wider audience, and especially reaching an audience outside of your own network. That's the main thing you want to do. You want to, so I don't know how many connections you've got, Brian, but if you've got 2,000 connections,
8,000, I think, something
8,000. So 8,000. But yeah, if you get, I don't know, 5 to 10 people like me with 10,000 plus connections outside your network, you're going to reach a lot wider audience, get more views, more comments, and hopefully people will start inviting you to connect because they've read your article.
one thing that we've done, it'll be interesting to hear your view on this, is that when we create articles, we always embed videos, especially from YouTube, into it.
Yep.
Does LinkedIn frown upon embedding videos from YouTube into an article?
Not as far as I'm aware in articles, no.
Right. Okay. Well, that's interesting. That they are actually open to that.
I think they still play within the article rather than taking people away, I think, as well.
They do. No. So I think one thing I wanted to sort of speak a little bit about, because I think it's probably, certainly for me, the least known part of LinkedIn is the whole job seekers part, the CV part of LinkedIn. And I suppose it's really what LinkedIn was born to be, wasn't it? Like a job application CV portal.
Yeah, it was. And strangely enough, when I talk to recruiters, they still prefer to use things like Indeed, CV Library, rather than the LinkedIn jobs board. They say it doesn't work for them, sort of thing, strangely enough. I mean, I know there are jobs on there, but speaking to the local sort of Lincoln area recruitment companies, they don't like LinkedIn jobs. They don't even use LinkedIn Recruiter either. They don't get the value from LinkedIn Recruiter that they thought they would do, and I think that's really expensive as well, if I remember rightly. So, but yeah, it's not something I've got too much involved with. So my main area of expertise is helping people either message their existing connections. You may have thousands of connections, then you've never really communicated with them. So using the advanced search, we could identify those within a specific industry, within a specific area, and just get a message out to them. Sure. Or alternatively, again, we could identify new people to prospect with, and using the advanced search facility. Again, there's 140 industries to choose from. Sure. And using a combination of those job titles, locations, you're going to get a pot of people that should be your ideal prospects. Sure. The strange thing I come across a lot, though, is that people don't know their ideal prospects. Yeah. Especially or they could say anyone, and I know where they're coming from when they say anyone, but that really makes it hard to market.
Of course it does. It's interesting, because obviously I have a few connections on LinkedIn, and I get quite a lot of connection requests every day, which is fine. I really don't mind that at all. But it's staggering to me. So it'll be interesting to hear how you approach this on behalf of your customers, because together with, I would say, perhaps 7 out of 10 connection requests, once I sort of look at them and say, yeah, that could be interesting, and I'll accept them, within seconds, I receive a sales pitch. And that makes me react in two ways. Either I delete them as a connection straight away, or I send them a sales pitch straight back at them. Is that an automated thing? Is that other people out there in the world like yourself who are
maybe that they've done the personalized? It shouldn't, because you can personalize the invite to connect, but that's only 300 characters anyway. But yeah, I think there is software out there that probably will send a message as soon as people connect, and that's bad, and they're going to get into trouble for that, because it's, LinkedIn is actually all about building rapport and relationships. It's not about the sales pitch sort of thing. So the first message to anyone shouldn't be, hi there, thanks for connecting, this is what we do, sort of thing. Yeah. It's just find out a bit more about them, just build that relationship before you start finding out about what each other has to offer. But yeah, going back to what you said about people inviting you to connect, I always view their profiles, and then if I'm happy to accept, I will send them a message saying, yeah, happy to connect. But what was it that actually brought you to my profile, and invite me to connect?
Yeah.
And that will either stop them pitching or they reply. I mean, about 2 out of 3 out of 10 will reply just to say, I notice you do this or that sort of thing. And then the conversation started. Yeah. What I don't like is people just accepting an invite and not replying at all.
Absolutely.
That's just a waste of someone. So if someone's invited you to connect, you want to know why. There's no point in just accepting, because they might not message you. And it's a bit like, sometimes I create leads for clients that, we've identified our target audience, we've done the sort of connect request and the follow-up message, and then they say, okay, yeah, tell me more. And then a week later, my client still hasn't replied, and it's so frustrating when you don't follow up, what potentially is a warm lead.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's all about the follow-up and just keeping in touch. So I mean, I've recently done some work for people that do insurance for the training industry. So a lot of those people have already got policies in place. So the idea was, oh, what the noise was.
My dog was.
So the idea really was, connect with them, and we got a really good connection rate, and just to find out, when their policy expires, and is it okay to give you a call?
Sure.
And that worked really well.
It's the good old know, like, trust, isn't it? So, which is why, as I say, someone wants to connect with me, I always go and sort of have a look who they are before I accept them. What I really like, I think, if they're really hot and good at what they do, if I then get a message saying, thanks you for connecting, all that kind of stuff, would you like to do a one-to-one so we can learn about each other?
Yeah.
I always react really positive to that, because that shows that they want to get to know you. They want to know what you're about, and that makes me want to know what they're about as well.
Yeah. And the other thing you can do as well, if someone has invited you connect, you can actually look at who's viewed your profile and see if they actually did view your profile before inviting you to connect. I know a lot of people do that. So
is that free service, or is that part of the pay?
Yeah, with the with your free version of LinkedIn, you can only see the last 5 people that's viewed your profile. So if you did it on a regular basis, you're okay. Sure. With the paid versions, I can't remember if it's the 100 people or the last 100 days, but it's quite a lot of people. So, but yeah, so it's always worth saying, well, I said that's another thing you can look at. If you see someone that's viewed your profile that hasn't actually, you're not connected with, and you like the look of them potentially, you can send them an invite. Say, I've seen you viewed my profile. I think it'd be worth us connecting. Or just
As I think LinkedIn has definitely turned the corner in terms of the whole networking and building connection with people. Now, I get a much better feel that people are. Perhaps it's because of the pandemic we've been forced to utilize.
Yeah, there's a lot more people using it. Yeah.
Yeah,
and I know people still moan that it's becoming a bit too much like Facebook. But I don't see that personally, and I do see the odd humorous post, and I've done them myself, and they get a great response, sort of thing. So and people, people do need to see still a little bit of fun or light-hearted stuff, I think, even on LinkedIn personally. But
I agree with that. I don't view it as Facebook at all. It's far more professional, and the stuff that goes on there, to me, is far more interesting, because I'm more interested in the kind of stuff from that sort of commercial world anyway. But I don't think I can understand, that from a functionality point of view, maybe perhaps people want to compare it, but it's something that I think the big difference for me, I don't know, we talked about this before off air, is that I find that LinkedIn is a lot more reluctant to put these populous new features into their system. A bit like we're live here today. It took LinkedIn quite a while, and it's still not open to everyone going live on LinkedIn, is it? So they seem to be more reluctant to bring in these new features that comes out in the world of social media than perhaps Facebook is.
Yeah, exactly right. And the weird thing is, they don't tell users that they're coming or how to use it or anything, sort of thing. It's just it's we're having to learn for ourselves and to share the information with other users and what we find, sort of thing. It's just, the training is, I think, quite poor with LinkedIn, unfortunately.
I suppose that gives people like yourself a bit of an edge, because you spend your time on LinkedIn all the time. So you have an opportunity to go and tell the world, well, I can do this for you, type thing. So I suppose that's useful from that point of view.
Oh yeah, definitely. But when you say, I could do a post about a new feature, but then not everyone's got it.
yeah. I understand that. That's difficult. So listen, Andrew, we've been talking here for 25 minutes, and I'm no doubt that we could be talking for 25 hours about LinkedIn. So, but I know you're a very busy guy, so I really want to thank you very much for joining me here today. If there was one thing that you would want to tell the world that is the most important thing you do on LinkedIn on a daily, weekly basis, what would that be?
I said the main things I would just say is make sure your profile is fully complete, sort of thing. Make sure it represents you and your business. So one thing we haven't mentioned is the headline. It shouldn't be job title or company name. You've got, I think they might have changed this one. You've got at least 120 characters to actually update your headline. So, and that's what you really want to do is capture people's attention when they land on your profile. And a background image as well was really helpful. So they were the two things I would say to make sure you've got on your profile, and just make sure your contact info is up to date, your about section's up to date, and yeah.
That's brilliant. No, that's really good advice.
And keep busy. Just keep a few connection requests going out or posting sort of thing. But if you ain't got time to do it, then that's obviously where I can help.
Absolutely. So stay active with it. Make sure that you're there. That's fantastic. That's really good advice, Andrew. I want to thank you very much for joining me today. I know you're a very busy guy, so it's really much appreciated for me for you to take your time out to join me today. And
thanks for having me, Brian. Great.
Your wisdom with the world. For everyone who's watched us, again, the stream is done for today. But if you have any questions, any things you'd like to ask Andrew about LinkedIn and the peculiarities about using LinkedIn for your business, please post the comments into the videos. We will look at them retrospectively and answer all of them. Alternatively, go and connect with Andrew on LinkedIn itself and start a conversation with Andrew. I can't recommend his services enough. He is absolutely brilliant at what he does. His website is in the ticker box here as well. So go and have. We are building a new website for Andrew at the moment, I should say. So there's something coming up. But go and look at his current website as well for all the stuff that he's got on there. So thank you everyone for watching. Please join me again next Wednesday, where I'm going to be joined by Bex Houston, who is a search engine optimization specialist. So she's going to share some useful nuggets for us to use when it comes to our website. So thank you all for watching. Go outside and enjoy this beautiful weather we have at the moment, and perhaps enjoy the football later on this afternoon. Thank you for sharing the stream with us, and we shall see you again next Wednesday.
Hi, my name's John, and I'm one of the web guys. I'd like to tell you about our amazing product that I'm certain you'll love. There are lots of companies out there who offer website and business tools, from the very cheap do-it-yourself to the very expensive bespoke products. What we offer at the Web Guys is a unique package that we're sure will cater to all your business's needs. We'll deliver a world-class website that's created specifically for you and your business, and with everything you need to manage it. It's so simple. All you have to do is choose a look and we'll do everything else. We'll design, build, set up and customize your website for you. You'll get that agency quality product from £29.99 a month and with no upfront fees to pay. To take advantage of our fantastic product, go to www.thewebguys.co.uk and simply click the Sign Up Now button and follow the instructions, which will only take a few minutes of your valuable time. Once you're done, you'll get all this plus lots more, and from only £29.99 per month. So, what are you waiting for?